Hello, guys, and welcome to the Limitless Landscapers podcast. I'm Paula, your host, owner of Aura Landscapes and the Landscapers Coach. And I'm just going to refer you this week to a previous episode I recorded, I think way back in February this year, talking about lead generation. Now, the title of the podcast I want you to listen to, and which will follow after this intro, is Lack of Leads. This is for you. And essentially, this is one of the conversations I'm constantly having with people at the moment. And it's all about basically lack of leads and people worrying about where their inquiries coming from, what can they do, let's plan a marketing strategy, let's do X, Y, and Z. That is all fantastic. I will also say there's another episode that you should go and check out. It's talking about your ideal client. I think it's client magnet, working through your ideal client. So when you're thinking of doing any kind of marketing strategy, starting with your ideal client and really profiling them in the way of creating an avatar is definitely your first step. Then I would listen to this episode, Lack of Leads, because it's going to go through some ideas basically to help you start thinking about where to find these leads that you are finding you are in lack of. Now, it all starts with mindset, so be prepared. There's a bit of mindset work to do, but otherwise there are lots of good juicy nuggets in this episode that will help you if you are starting out in business and looking at marketing, or whether you're currently just having a dip in inquiries in business, or if you're not having a dip but you're getting concerned that we're going into winter and you need some more ideas for where to look for those elusive leads for your landscaping business. Now, as always, if you need any help around generating leads, growing your landscaping business, you just need some support, that's what I'm here for. I am the Landscapers Coach. Do drop me an email, Paula at thelandscaperscoach.co.uk. If you just want to book in for a free call with me to find out a bit more, or just to ask me a question, then drop me an email with some times and I'll get you booked in the calendar. That's it from me. Go check out the Lack of Leads. And then afterwards, if you're looking to put together a more structured marketing strategy, start with your client profile, which is on another episode. All links will be in the show notes. Enjoy. As the co-founders of the Landscaper Circle, we help you get more money, time and freedom to become limitless through our experiences as fellow landscapers and our tried and tested methods. If you want help with your marketing, managing or growing your business, you've definitely come to the right place. If you're a landscaper, garden designer or supplier to the industry, then hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Now, let's get back to the show. Hello everyone, how are we doing this week? The weather is better, the sun is shining, it's dry, we are able to work. Woo! This is good. This is good news for us, those of us that work outside or have landscaping businesses. So I wanted to bring you this episode all about lack of leads and what you can do about it, because this is becoming such a hot topic. Everyone I speak to has the same question for me. Are you experiencing lack of leads? How is this normal? Should I be worried? And everything that goes along with it. So I thought it's an apt and a well-timed episode to just go through this, sharing with you some ideas of generating more leads, but also to remind you that step one is the mindset around this. So if you are one of those people who watch the news every day, you are setting yourself up for not success, in my opinion, because you will be subconsciously listening to all the fear around the economy, all the fear around people not buying at the moment, and everything in between. So first step is to switch off the news, ignore the mainstream media, and get on with your life. That's step one from me. That's my advice. Get on with it. Don't worry about what's going on out there. Just do you. Just carry on doing you. Secondly, let me remind you that we had a couple of bumpy years with the pandemic, and essentially this skewed everybody's figures, everybody's levels of inquiries went through the roof, the level of work went through the roof.
It wasn't a normal year for landscaping. And in a previous episode, I've compared 2 years back to back of the difference in inquiries, and it isn't any different. It may feel very different. And I think that is a mix of people are more hesitant at the moment buying. It's just a fact. People are hesitant. We've come out of a pandemic, things have changed. People were working from home, now they're back at work. Lots of people are changing their lifestyles. They're not in the house as much anymore as they were during the pandemic. And essentially, they were looking at their gardens, wanting to change that area all the time. Things have changed. Now it's all about heating and paying our bills and going back to work. So life has changed, people's thoughts have changed, and maybe their buying priorities have changed. But it doesn't mean that suddenly we're not going to have any work. It doesn't mean that just because you haven't got loads of leads coming in this year that you're not going to be booked up by next month for the rest of the year, because you may have an influx of leads. We all know in landscaping that this time of year is quieter, and we all know that as soon as the sun starts shining, the phone will begin to ring, inquiries start coming in, because people want their gardens done when the sun is shining, tend not to care when it's wet, raining, cold. So what I mean with mindset is just start to remember that this is pretty normal for the landscaping industry. People have varying levels of leads. It also comes down to how you are thinking and acting in your life. So if you are negative, if you're believing there's no leads out there, if you are living in a lack mindset, that is the life you'll see, and that is the results you'll find yourself in. If you believe that we live in a world full of abundance, endless opportunities, endless clients, enough clients for everybody, then you will see that come into your business. But you have to believe it. You have to start working on and developing that abundance mindset in order to see the abundance around you. I also speak to a lot of people who are saying they've got a lack of leads, but they actually haven't done any marketing. So you have to also take some action. Just thinking abundantly, believing that it's all going to be okay is great, but you also need to take some really good positive action as well. And that means looking at your marketing and looking at ways you can generate leads. So this episode, I just wanted to share with you some really easy, cost-effective ways that you could generate leads. I could go on all day about ways to market your landscaping and garden design business. I can talk about expensive ways. I can talk about free ways. I can talk about lots of different strategy, but we haven't got all day. We've got one podcast episode, and I really don't want to bore you with that if you've got all of these things done anyway. So I'm just going to share with you some really simple, low cost, effective ways that you could take action even today to start generating leads for tomorrow and beyond. So first things first, you could go back to basics. And by basics, I mean, forget the digital era here. I love digital marketing, but also there is a place and there is a good reason to go back to basics with potentially some print advertising. Have you got flyers that you haven't given out? Have you got jobs that you could flyer next door neighbours to see if they're interested? Obviously, to let them know that you are completing a garden or a driveway or a garden transformation or planting, etc., at a neighbour's house. Could you leaflet certain areas? Could you just do a large leaflet drop using distribution channels such as maybe like Royal Mail or a local magazine that distributes to certain areas? First of all, you have to identify your key clients and your ideal clients or your avatars. I've chatted about this so many times. Get clear on where they will be, and then you pick the areas where they're going to be in. So what postcodes, and then see if you can do a leaflet distribution to them. That's a very low cost way, and you will get some inquiries back. It just depends on whether you want to go very super targeted and just do it where you are working, maybe just take an hour every day to leaflet the area, or whether you want to pay for someone else to deliver it for you, save your legs. But you could go back to basics and go to leaflet drops, but just being really specific and targeted with it. So not doing everything, and obviously being mindful of what properties are around in each area. You certainly don't want to be targeting flats, for instance. and really go back to basics to get your name out there. The second thing I would look at is my existing database. So we all should have a database. If you don't, you need one. Very simply, just pop it in an Excel spreadsheet. If you're really hardcore and on the ball, you probably have a CRM system. Either way, we all should have a database of existing, previous, current clients, current inquiries that have come and gone over the years, and why they've bought from you, why they haven't bought from you. And you should have this database. So what is it currently doing? Are you utilizing it at all? This is, again, a free way, if not very low cost, depending on if you're going to send email by email through your chosen email provider, like for me, Outlook, or whether you actually have MailChimp or Sendinblue or ActiveCampaign or one of those automated email systems where you can upload your database and send some emails in one hit of a button, really. You can really utilize this database to generate new leads for your business. The way I would suggest doing this is, the first thing is to focus on the open quotes to see why they haven't bought, whether they're still in the market to buy, explain that you have some spaces come up, which is not usual practice for your landscaping business or garden design business, and get in touch. Find out why they've still got an open quote with you. And if it's something they're still looking into, do they have questions? Has their budget changed? Can you help them out in any way? It's all about how you can serve them rather than what it's going to do for you. But essentially, open quotes would be my first port of call. Then I would look at contacting previous inquiries that potentially haven't bought from you, or they had a site visit and went cold. You could just do a generic newsletter type email, really, to give them a bit of information about what's going on in the business. Are they still in the market for any landscape and planting, garden design? Insert your service there. And a general date, a very soft sell type email. Then you could send one out to your current clients or clients that have completed and ask for a referral and a testimonial at the same time, because you can utilize your testimonials throughout your website, your social media posts. You can put them on the leaflet if you're going to send out a new leaflet. You can utilize testimonials everywhere. Also, if you get them to do it on Google or your Who's profile, that will help with your SEO. But essentially, really, you're asking if they know any friends or family who are looking to get their gardens sorted in any way. So again, referrals and testimonials, that's a great request email to send out. So it's really building on your own database. Now, we all should have one, and I bet for a lot of us it lies dormant. I, for one, guilty of this, guilty as charged. I do not keep in contact with my database as much as I should do. And mainly that's because I haven't found a CRM system I really like using at the moment. So that's my excuse for now. Thirdly, can you upsell? Upselling is essentially offering any further add-ons to your existing clients. So can you upsell any other service that you might have? So for instance, I work with a garden designer who has a garden maintenance side of the business. So she can contact her clients and ask for the upsell of the garden maintenance. So that's just one example. Could you offer clean and seal package if you're dealing with hard landscaping? Have you got anything else that you offer that you could upsell to your existing clients? Don't be scared of the upsell, because once they've bought into you, it's easier for clients to buy from you again. The reason being, they already know you, they already like you, they already trust you, you're already doing a great job. So they're more likely to buy more from you if you present them with a solution to a problem. Let's not forget, it's not upselling anything. It's presenting them with a solution to whatever problem they have. So if you have a service that solves a particular problem that they've mentioned to you, or they might have, please speak to them about it and try and get the upsell there. And then I would also urge you to look at your connections, your networks, your existing networks. Have you got anyone that could refer work to you? So for instance, as a landscaper, could I contact new and existing garden designers that I already work with to send me more work? What I'm talking about. Can you find anyone that would refer work to you and vice versa that you could offer to refer work to them? Could you build on these networks? So could you expand and widen your network net, so to speak, and see if you can get in touch with more garden designers if you're a landscaper, or more landscapes if you're a garden designer, or pool specialists if you have clients that want pools, or could you offer planting through a subcontractor, etc., etc. Start thinking about your network, start thinking who you could collaborate with, who could you refer work to, and essentially start building on those. It's so easy to do. And then finally, your digital marketing. So your website, unfortunately, it's not once done is done. It's a constant updating process. So you'll always be updating your website, even if it's just photos. But particularly for lead generation and to make your website work for you, you are going to have to do some back-end SEO. You are going to have to do some blog writing. You are going to have to amend wording and content. You are going to have to amend wording, content, services as you add or reduce services, whatever you're doing there, to showcase your new brilliant project you're doing, and so on and so forth. So you need to continually update your website, and you need to make sure you put some time aside for that. I'm currently doing that on both my websites at the moment. It's not something I love doing, so it takes a lot more time. And what I would suggest is, if you are doing any development work to your website or changes, just do it one page at a time, because then it's less overwhelming. And also get someone else to look at it if you can, just to cast their eye on. If you have a great website that you're getting leads through already and you don't feel like it needs any further work, and your ideal client where they hang out, then I would suggest, consider doing some paid advertising. So you could do paid Facebook ads, you could do paid LinkedIn ads if you're B2B, you could do AdWords on Google. All of these things are great as long as you are really specific on your ideal client and you know exactly where they hang out, and you have a budget in mind that you know you can afford, going back to your cash flow. And finally, you have the time to learn how to do it, because it's not an easy and quick process. It's quite complicated to set up, and you also have to keep on top of managing it and basically checking it's all okay. You do have to spend time doing that. But if you've got a good website that generates leads, if you know your ideal client and you've got the money and time to spend doing it, 100%, it's a very quick way to generate leads. Do consider paid advertising on the digital platforms if you so wish, if you have that time, that money, and enough about your ideal client. I can't stress that enough. Really, that should be number one point. Go back to your ideal client. Are you targeting them? Are they correct for you? Etc., etc. But we could go into that multiple times. I think I've spoke about on multiple episodes as well. That is essentially what I would do if I was suffering from a lack of leads or a worry about a lack of leads. They're very easy, low cost, super effective, and you can just get on with it. But like I said at the beginning, it's not just about planning out a strategy. Like from that, you could create a very basic marketing strategy to get on with, but you actually have to take the action. So you have to take the time off the tools, working on your business in order to put these strategies in place. And then you need to monitor them to see what's working and what isn't, and then do more of what is working and less of what isn't, and continually tweak to make sure that you've tried everything. Marketing is essentially trying things. You tweak, you try again until you find something that works for you and your business. It's not one size fits all. Not one thing that works for me will work for you. So these are just some ideas to get you going, to get those leads coming in if you are concerned. If you are concerned, give me a shout. That's what the Landscape Circle is here for. There's also quite a few topics available inside the Landscape Circle that will help you with all different sorts of marketing strategies that we've spoken about today. Lots of different templates that you can edit and then pop into your business. So if you are interested, come and join us and you can have a look around and start cracking on a marketing strategy for you. If you need help one-to-one, give me a call. It's 02381 800 108, or drop me an email or a DM. So I think that's it for this week. I hope you're going to have a fantastic week, and I will see you next week on the Limitless Landscapers podcast.